And Alan, I'm going to ask you again to watch the live unless Tony don't need me to use my computer to share anything. I don't have anything up, Tony, but then I can take over. All right, perfect. So we are now live. And we're going to start with introductions. I'll first start with introducing myself and go around the first 9 people that I see here. We'll try not to go too deep in introductions if we go beyond the first 9. And then I'll jump into my quick spiel with you. And hopefully by then, Tony, you would have reached out to him for us to get started with his presentation. So hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Magali Ascent. I serve as the Interim Executive Director for Hustle Winston-Salem. Hustle Winston-Salem worked to leverage the playing field for entrepreneurs in our community, specifically entrepreneurs of color, entrepreneurs that are women and those in marginalized business districts. And we also focus on entrepreneurs that normally don't get the same attention. That could be those in faith-based businesses, those in some of the creative spaces, things of that nature. I can go on and on. So we are very much focused on in accelerating those entrepreneurs as much as we can. I want to take a quick moment to just let you all know about a few things that we released today so that you are aware and that you can share it with your networks. Today, we launched our small budget Big Heart campaign, and it's a giving campaign where we are doing a few giveaways. The first is masks. So we're giving away free masks that were provided to us by Hanes Brands. So if you or an entrepreneur is in need of a mask, just go to our website and click the link and we'll respond accordingly. We have 100 to give away, so it's the first 100. Preference will be given to entrepreneurs, but it is open to the community. The next thing is we were gifted with some tablets, and we know that when COVID-19 first put us into quarantine mode, there were a lot of entrepreneurs in our community that did not have access to a laptop or anything like that at home. And we're still working on making sure that we can get more of those resources. But recently, the Feelings Company, if you remember, the Feelings Company is who we did the audit on last week. The Feelings Company gifted us with 3 tablets that we are also giving away. And if you are an entrepreneur that you know, and we're specifically focused on entrepreneurs in marginalized business districts and those of color in need, let them know to visit our website and sign up for that, and we'll respond accordingly. And then we also received a donation from the Innovation Quarter that we are giving out many grants to entrepreneurs in the Black community. So if you know, solopreneurs, specifically for solopreneurs. So if you know a solopreneur in the African-American community that is in need of some funding, and we're doing small donations of $250 to $500. There's a quick video application on our website that they will need to complete. There's a quick turnaround on that. It's due next Wednesday. So let them know, complete it, and we will make sure to respond accordingly. And just minutes before today's session, I received a call from Shift Creative, another local business in Winston-Salem, that said that they want to add to that fund that the Innovation Quarter gave us. So we have even more funding to give away to entrepreneurs, to solopreneurs that fall in that category. So please, please, please let the solopreneurs in the Black African-American community that you know that we have this money available to them. If you have any questions, just contact us via email, and we'll be happy to respond to any of that. One last thing I want to tell you about that you can look forward to in the month of July. We will be providing Zoom to the community as a free community resource where you can use our Zoom account. We'll have a community Zoom account where you can schedule meetings or plan a Zoom conference or a summit or whatever you may need. You'll have that as a resource. It will be automated, so it's first come, first serve. If somebody else schedule it for a particular time that you may need it, it's going to be a first come, first serve. And we'll be sure to put out all of our community guidelines and all of that once that time comes. But that resource will become available in July. If you are not on our mailing list, get on our mailing list because that's where we will release it. I'm going to stop, even though I didn't introduce myself to a full extent. I'm going to stop there because I've done a lot of talking, and now I'm going to go across the board and start with Alan.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alan Younger. I am with the Forsyth Tech Small Business Center. Our job is to increase your business success. If there's any way that we can do that, we are available to do so. Our main services are business mentoring and educational events. And would like to put in a quick plug and invite you to an event tonight at 5:30. It's called From Protest to Policy, Increasing Economic Opportunities. So as we are all in this time of social unrest, we need to look beyond protests and figure out what we can do to make sure that everybody's in a better position than they were already. So you can watch that through the Winston-Salem Urban League Facebook Live channel. Thank you. I'm glad that Marketing Outside the Box is a great event and look forward to this marketing audit.
Awesome. Rick?
Thanks. Rick Leander, Managing Director of LFB Holdings. Our primary gig is as a behavioral insights consultancy, working with both established enterprises and startups on things like good behavioral design and choice architecture. We also mentor startups, not just in the Triad ecosystem, but we've also got clients in Texas and North Carolina, Texas and California, but very interested in mentoring and providing some free guidance to local startups. So feel free to reach out.
Awesome. Paul? You're muted, Paul. I think he froze on us. So we'll
Can you hear
come
me
back.
now?
Yes. Yes. Oh, not again. No, we can't. I think I'm going to move on and come back to Paul once we have it figured out. If that's okay with you, Paul. Next we have, okay, Christy.
Hi, I'm Christy Childs, and I'm from Kansas City. So I'm joining you from Kansas City. So I'm the president and founder of a nonprofit called Veronica's Voice. And we help women get out of commercial sexual exploitation or sex trafficking. And so what we're doing is creating a social justice enterprise, and the women are making different products and we're selling. So we're starting a business to create jobs for the women.
Wow. In case I forget to say this, remind me, I'll put it in the chat when I get a second. I just saw a resource yesterday that you may be perfect for. They are giving away $10,000 grants specifically to organizations catered to women and girls. It's solve.mit.something. I'll look it up and drop it in the chat before we end this call today. But yeah, that might be a really good opportunity for you, and I'll drop it in there.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Santiago?
Greetings, everybody. My name is Santiago Ramos, local to Winston-Salem. I've been a community organizer for the last 4.5 years, and in that time, have ventured into real estate, industrial distribution. My first venture was the investment of a bounce house that I still rent out to parties. It's actually how me and Natalie first met a long time ago. But currently in asset-based community development and as a member of the nonprofit community, focused on Love Out Loud's Pathways program as a navigator lead. Pathways helps individuals find their fit in community service here in Winston-Salem. Recently launched a online tool that helps streamline that, which has been monumental. And then outside of that, I'm in asset-based wealth development, non-traditional wealth creation, helping individuals kind of lay out their finances and their personal life to be able to create some freedom down the road. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Chloe?
Hello, everyone. I'm excited to be on this Zoom call and listening to everyone's feedback. I'm a UNCW student. I'm studying recreation, tourism, and management. And throughout my past 4 years with UNCW, I've really grown a passion to watching communities grow. Santiago, that was really cool what you're saying about I believe you said asset community development. That's really interesting. So I'm really excited to hear you guys' ideas, and I'll be taking notes. So I look forward to it.
Awesome. Goldie?
Hi, my name is Goldie Irving with Goldie's Activities and Companion Services. I provide in-home activities for folks affected by dementia and Alzheimer's.
Welcome. Marianne?
Hello, I'm Marianne Upson. I'm a spiritual life development coach, and I do that through cognitive behavioral process, helping women move to their next level.
Thank you, Marianne. And I think I only have two more. Carl? Oh, Carl said it's super noisy in the background. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And then lastly, Tony.
Hi, y'all. I'm Tony. I work with Hustle Winston-Salem. I also have a photography business called Tony and Tony Productions, and I have started to offer strategic business advice to my fellow entrepreneurs underneath Building the Boss. I also have a Building the Boss podcast and YouTube channel, and I will hopefully by the end of the month have out my first book called 31 Steps to Boss Up, Building the Boss Within and Developing Your Business Idea.
Awesome. And Carl did want me to share that he is a small business owner in Virginia. Thanks for joining us, Carl. So before I get into my brief presentation, and I still don't know the status of our guest, Tony, do you have a status for us before I continue?
Alan said he's in the chat. No, I haven't gotten an email back. I don't have his number.
Okay. So just
Do you want, this is Alan, do you want me to, I'm chatting with him now. Do you want me to tell him to give you a call or text you?
yeah, you can have him contact Tony, not me, because I'm in the middle of it.
Perfect. I sure will.
Okay, so before I jump into my quick presentation, I also wanted to share something. We did receive a message from someone, and I don't think they're on the call today, but asking us about information for their continuing education credits. I'm not sure if it's connected directly to Foresight Tech or to another institution, but that individual just needed to know the name of the presenter. So if anyone else has that situation, you can always list myself or Tony. So that's Magali Yasin or Tony Barnes, Tony with an I, Barnes, as the presenter, and either one of us would be able to verify or confirm or whatever may be needed for continuing education credits. I just want to make sure that that's known for any future references. And Alan, if you have more to add to that in case it's connected to Foresight Tech, please do.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to add.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to jump quickly into a brief presentation. And for those that are joining us for the first time today, I just want to let you know how we've been running Marketing Outside the Box, generally speaking, and how we've been running it this month and how we hope to run it today. So generally speaking, Marketing Outside the Box is a weekly marketing series for any topic that you can think of, where we try to provide you with marketing tips and tactics that you can apply to your business immediately and hopefully see some progression. So we have been doing it for almost 2 years now. We started off monthly, and then somehow we are here weekly, and it's been great. I don't even remember when we shifted to weekly, but it's been wonderful. For the year 2020, we've been doing them in monthly series. So we'll have a series for the month and kind of carry that out. Any of our presentations that we've done in the past is always available to you. You just have to reach out to us. If you need a list of our presentations, we encourage you to visit our Facebook page, go to the events link, and then just scroll down and you'll see all the topics that we've had since we started this thing. And if you need any of those topics, we can always send it to you. We're happy to do that. So this particular series for the month of June, we've been doing marketing audits. So instead of us presenting something to you, we've had businesses send information to us that we kind of looked at in advance, and then we present it to you during the course, and we kind of do the live audit, a watered down version of the live audit. If you need any of the information I shared regarding marketing audits or content audits that I've shared so far, let us know. We can send that to you today. I'm going to share a little bit about visual audits, and then we'll jump into, hopefully we'll jump into the guest today. I don't know what's going to happen yet, but let me just share my screen really quickly. I would say it was about, let's see here, no. Give me a moment. I don't think I have the right document up. There we go. Can everybody see that? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, no. How about now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So last year we actually did a visual content audit session for Marketing Outside the Box, and Tony presented that. So we're not going to go through that full presentation at all today. If you need it and want to know how that was ran, we're happy to send it to you. What we will do today is just kind of highlight two quick things from this presentation with you, and then we'll jump into today's marketing audit. Like I said, Tony presented it, and Tony, I don't know if she shared it or not, but she also has a video production and photography business. So first we want to highlight that 90% of information that's transmitted to our brain, is visual. So when you hear that, you have to understand that the impact of the visuals that you use, the impact that they have on your business, on your brand, on your marketing, when you consider that 90% of that information is transmitted to our brains. And then we also want to point out we also want to point out these questions here that Tony provided us with. When you're doing any visual communication, whether it's on your website, whether it's on in an email, whether it's on your social media, ask yourself these questions, these three general questions. There are way more questions to ask, of course, as you have seen throughout the last 2 weeks, and hopefully you'll see today. There's way more questions you can ask when you're talking about your brand, but these are the questions right here that we want you to pinpoint every single time. Ask yourself, what are you communicating with this picture? Ask yourself, who are you communicating it to? This picture, this question mark, whatever visual it is, even if your visual is just all words, if you do a visual where it's just a word, what is it that you're communicating? Who are you communicating it to? And how is your visual communication being presented? Those are questions you always want to kind of keep at the top of your mind, keeping in mind, like we just said, 90% of that is going to transmit to your audience mind. A great example as we are watching the world go through social unrest is we see a lot of organizations are choosing to put words as their visual. And a key one that we've been seeing is Black Lives Matter. Innovation Quarter they posted a visual and they shared it in an email very recently where that was their message. It was the words Black Lives Matter and a period. That was the message. Nothing else was connected to it. And I'm sure that they asked themselves these questions. What are they communicating? Who are they communicating to? And how did they want it presented? They could have presented that in so many other ways, but they just made sure those big bold letters there. And you know, their message was very loud and clear. So that's just a good example of how you can use how your messaging is being communicated. So anything that you are communicating, you want to ask yourselves those 3 questions, keeping in mind that 90% of what you share visually is what's going to stick in most of our minds. And those are just a few quick points I wanted to point out as we think about visual content. And then hopefully we're about to jump into our presenter of the day. So let me stop sharing my screen. Any questions about that before we jump back to Tony to find out the status of that? Questions or comments? And Alan, do we have anything from Facebook? Okay. Tony? Oh, there's our guest. Hi, Rick.
Hey.
How are you?
Doing
So
great.
hopefully, good. Glad to have you here. Rick, before we jump into your presentation, I just want to quickly ask you, we do share this on Facebook Live, but since we will be auditing your company, we leave it up to you to decide whether or not you would like it to be on Facebook Live. We can stop the
fine with
live
it.
if you'd like. You're fine with it? Okay, perfect. Good to hear. So you missed the introduction part of it, but you will get an opportunity to introduce yourself. Just so you know, I think you have joined us on Facebook last week, so you're familiar with how we run this. But just as a reminder, Tony will lead a discussion on your business and your brand, get feedback from everyone here that's with us, and then you will have an opportunity to tell us about your business and your brand, and we'll see how those correlated. Okay. That's how this will be ran. So I will hand it over to Tony, who we cannot see, but that's okay, I guess. Tony, you will be sharing your screen. Is that correct?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I will hand it over to Tony, who will take it over at this point. While she's getting us ready, are there any questions or comments about anything that I've shared so far? Just quickly looking at you all. Okay, great. We'll leave it to Tony.
Okay. And let me just address, I apologize for not being seen. It's been a week, y'all. It's been a week. But
We understand, Tony. We're not judging you. You're okay.
Just for any new people we have, I just want to quickly say that this is a very interactive session, and we ask that you participate. If you do not feel comfortable sharing your opinion, because we do ask for honest and true opinions, you can message myself or Magali in Zoom. And if you're on Facebook, you can send a message to Alan. But this is to improve our fellow entrepreneur and their marketing business. So that's why we ask for everybody to participate. If everybody understands that, if I could just get an okay in the chat, and then we will get started.
You're getting okays and yes and thumbs up. So I think you're good on Zoom side, and I'm going to assume everyone on Facebook is okay as well. I just want to say how excited I am about this business. I shared in the beginning, sorry for interrupting, Tony. I shared in the beginning that we also do faith-based businesses. We don't really get a lot of opportunities to touch on faith-based businesses. So I'm just excited about it today. That's it.
Let me share, and then we'll get started. Possibly. Okay, here we go. I'm a sad millennial, y'all. Okay. Can everybody see? Yes? Okay, great. All right, so we're gonna start at the top. And so I'm gonna scroll through. And as I'm scrolling, I want you guys to either speak out if you're confident that way, or message words to describe what you're viewing and how you're feeling.
I'm sorry, Tony, what was the question? You want people to put in the chat what?
Words that describe how you feel looking at this content, or to describe this content.
Okay. Either people find it indescribable or I'm not getting anything right now. Okay, here we go. Easy to recognize who you are, clean layout, easy to read information, rich with images, simple, not wordy, clean. Those are some of the comments from the Zoom, and Alan will keep you posted if anything comes up on Facebook.
It seems they have a lot of content that's video based. It may help to have, I think, like it's not working.
We heard you. We were able to hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. It said connection was lost here. It seems that a lot of the content is video based. I see that they have one post that you can actually click on the video and it's not taken to another link. I would say that would be a great thing so I could stay on the page and digest the content as a whole instead of being taken to another link.
And then we have another comment that says lots of ways to engage. Agree that videos are best on your page and not external.
Okay. Is there any particular, I'm going to scroll back, I'm going to do a reverse. Is there any particular post that you as an individual want to engage with?
And just still to the last question, as you think about this question, we had another comment that said, I like how their Facebook posts show up. And just for me, I really like the image we just saw that says the world is temporary closed. I would engage with that post. It would make me click to be like, I mean, we are, but what are they telling me? So I like that post. It's engaging to me.
I like the consistency of the posts. There seems to be a common pattern of short excerpts with an image and plenty of opportunities to engage.
I like how they have their MailChimp set up, or maybe they just export their MailChimp sends to their actual page. So their newsletter group can actually see it on social media and they can newsletter people from their actual page.
Thank you.
I have a comment. I'm sorry, guys. There's some construction going on around my house. If you hear noise in the background, forgive me. But there's another comment that says, my eyes easily find the buttons to engage as I can easily find the message button. As an example, it was easy for her to find the message button. And then I like the post, white people do something. I like to see the Bible people get involved with social justice. That was another comment.
Great. And I'm going to try something new. From a grade A to F, how would you rate their use of this platform?
We're giving them a grade of A to F on the use of Facebook. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it'd be great, to help our fellow entrepreneur if you could explain it just a little bit.
So far, we have 1A.
Can you give it another scroll?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Somebody else said, I thought this was a website. Sorry.
Because because I love the consistency and how everything kind of matches. It's easy on the eyes, like someone said. So it's not too much content in your face. I think the only thing I can really say to improve was actually add video. Some of these video links actually I can watch it from the actual page instead of going to YouTube.
And what was the grade that you said, Paul? I think that part was the only thing we didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said B.
B. Okay, B as in boy.
I'm gonna go with an A, but the A that's kind of like right there at it, like a 93 on your test score. Because I love the diversity of the content. I mean, there's videos, there's articles, there's opportunities for discussion, there's a lot of different types of content, which I like a lot. The room for improvement, and this is a difficult for all content creators, is having it more often. So I was kind of looking at the dates of the content, and it's pretty good job of having them every few days, every other day. Some gaps here and there where there's like a week. That's the only thing I would say is room for improvement. But overall, yeah, I'd give it a 93.9.
Thank you.
We have somebody else that also said that they would give it an A, although there's always room for improvement.
Alan, is there anything in the chat on Facebook?
It's a quiet day in Facebook Live. Normally Rick is on there and he provides a lot of comments. I've got different people. It just says they're watching, but nobody has provided input.
Okay. Moving on to Twitter. So again, I just want you guys to, any words that come to mind or feelings, go ahead and drop it or say it.
I'm going to share something. Oh, before I share, someone else said maybe expand on great Bible teachers in the bio. And I'm going to share that it's a lot of similar content and from what we just saw. And I'm not saying that's a good or bad thing yet. I'll share my thoughts on that later, but I just want to point out that there's a lot of similar content.
Any other words or feelings?
Ooh, what's the alphabet of errors? I want to read that.
Okay, from their Twitter, can you tell who they are marketing to?
Can you start scrolling back to reverse? Just so I can see some of the stuff we just saw again. And someone said they'll give their Twitter A because it is direct and to the point. Someone else said, I'm not familiar with Twitter, but I wish I could see more images to understand who you are. Someone else said more tweets.
That it is, they need more tweets? Is that what that means?
I think so.
Okay.
Yes, needs more tweets, they clarified.
Thank you. Okay. Can I just say before we get off, like, why is Florida always in something? They just can never.
You're looking at the trending topics.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm trying to.
And then someone asked about the Twitter page. Is this a personal page or a business page?
Okay. So I'm just gonna scroll through. I really don't have any questions for this LinkedIn profile, so you guys just be honest and upfront about how you feel. And maybe I'll derive some questions off of that. But let's start off with how you're feeling.
Was this this is Rick's personal LinkedIn, or is this a LinkedIn business page for the great Bible teachers?
This is what I was provided.
Okay.
It's his personal page.
Oh.
Got it. There was a comment that I would make them separate. I'm not sure if that was in relation to Twitter or if that's in relation to LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Both. Clarification says that it's both. Someone said, I agree, it's a great personal page, but link it to a page for GBT.
Okay. So we weren't going to spend too much time on that, but I just wanted to get some opinions.
And while you do the last two sites, Tony, I just want to keep in mind that we did start a little later today. So we are almost at the 15-minute mark before 1:30.
All right, can y'all say everything? Because my Zoom's kind of blocking some things out.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. From what is presented to you, which one would you click on? Which video would you click on and why?
As far as it relates to the YouTube, this looks like an active account was a comment that we received. And while we wait for more comments, I will say that I would click on some of the earlier videos we saw with words on them, because the image also tells me what I'm clicking on. Oh, someone said videos with text. Same, great minds. So yeah.
I would just like he's, I guess, changed it up with the text videos. I would definitely keep doing that. That makes me want to click on it than just seeing, you know, the selfie in the background. Gives me more insight with.
And then someone else asked, does the different platforms have information to go to the other platforms? And just so y'all know, we're not ignoring the questions when you ask a question. Rick is taking note, and he may respond to those, or it may just be feedback that he incorporate later.
And then can you tell what they're selling?
Someone shared that I noticed that I look at the clip thumbnails with brighter shirt colors. That's a good point.
That's a great observation.
And your question was, can we tell what they are selling? Or what he's selling? Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. And So next question, what makes this company unique? Or we can flip it. We are problem solvers here. If you cannot tell me,
I was going to say, I finally got some feedback.
yeah.
I like the consistency and in posting, and I would likely click on the shorter videos first, in addition to the videos with text.
Thank you. So I'm still looking for answers about what makes this company unique. And on top of that, I want to give you the question of, would you sign up based on from what you've seen so far with all of the social media, and now we're on the first page of the website, would you sign up for the mailing list? Why or why not?
Someone said yes, if I was in the teaching space, if I was in that particular teaching space.
Thank you.
The statement about knowledge and love would make me interested in more information. That was from someone else. The statement about knowledge and love would make me more interested in more information. And then another comment is, I would be encouraged to sign up if I knew that more content is on the way. You have active accounts, so that is a great indication. I enjoy mailing lists because I feel like I get something special out of it.
Okay. And the final question before we let Dr. Rick Jordan introduce his company is, what personality would you assign to this business? You can either say like the best friend personality, or you can use like actual values and adjectives to describe the kind of personality. But what personality would you assign to this business?
So for me, as we start to approach Father's Day weekend, I would probably go with dad, like someone who's teaching me a lesson. So I would go with the dad personality.
Thank you.
Going back to your previous question, Tony, there's a response that says, I would sign up because it seems like there would be messages of hope and encouragement.
And someone to the current question shared that they would assign the personality as a teacher.
Okay. So, Rick, in 5 minutes or less, is it possible for you to tell us about your business?
I think so.
Tony, can you stop sharing your screen for a moment?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
Okay. Yes, so I started this company about 3 years ago. as I was going to be approaching retirement and wanted to still remain in ministry. And so the ministry is for people who are non-professional Bible study teachers. So they haven't been to seminary, they haven't read commentaries, but the pastor is handing them a quarterly and said, "Hey, would you teach these people?" and a lot of times we go to our school teachers to be teachers in school. Well, they know what they're doing, but a lot of times it might be somebody who they don't teach normally, and so so this website is for those people in particular, and also to help people who, even if they are teachers, they may think that teaching the Bible is content, which is part of it. But what we really want to do is teach for transformation. We're trying to change the attitudes, change the behavior. And so that's why I created this. I've been building through the years on this. I had at the ministry that I was a part of, 2 people retired or resigned, and another person was let go. And so I was given their responsibilities, parts of those. So there was about a year that I wasn't able to do anything. I retired December 31st, and so I've been giving it a lot more emphasis since then. And so I'd been collecting interviews a couple of years ago, and then went about a year without, and now I'm continuing to do that, trying to help again, the layperson hear from the academy, but in a bite-sized way and in a down-to-earth way, I guess. I did write a book about how to teach the Bible in class, and then this year, just a couple of months ago, a month or so ago, I completed a course, online course through Teachable on how to teach the Bible through Zoom. And so they're basically the 2 things that I have to sell then are my book and the course. And then I speak, do workshops and conferences and things like that. But of course that has dried up since the pandemic. And so that's what gave me the idea, okay, let me do the Zoom course, because people can, for $20, buy what, a church would pay me $300 to do. So, so that's why I decided to do that as well. That might have been more than 5 minutes, Magley.
No, that's okay. That was awesome. Tony's on mute, but I think the next step, I don't know if you want to hear from anybody else before you and I go, Tony, if anybody else has anything to add.
Yeah, you're good. I just want to say thank you guys for participating. The feedback was really great today. And yeah, Mag, if you want to go first.
Before Tony and myself share our feedback directly to Rick, is there anyone on the Zoom or on Facebook that wanted to share something else to Rick regarding his brand or his business before we give any of our feedback?
I do. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but
Yep, we can hear you.
great. I would say from looking at his pages that he comes off as a thought leader in this space, and you can I didn't really catch that many of having a product to sell or a service or so, but being a thought leader in that space also can lead to sales. There's more active sales, but I saw more thought leader than I didn't know a book or the Zoom class was exactly on sale. I thought he was just kind of discussing.
Thank you. Did anybody else have anything else to share before I go in with my feedback? Just unmute yourself.
I wanted to ask Rick, did he do all of that work himself, or did he have somebody else do it? Because it's really good.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing it all myself. I mean, I've used the Small Business Center a whole lot, and Alan has seen me around a lot, and as have others. And I've gone to the marketing outside the box things for a couple of years, I guess. And so I've been learning and learning and learning. So, I went to something on how to create a website page, and so I did that. I've created the online course. Yeah, I mean, and so other things. One thing that would maybe, this was an issue that came up, was, are things personal or business? And that has been a dilemma for me because, you know, the most money I got, so to speak, if you want to put it in business terms, you know, the most money I get is when somebody says, would you come lead a conference for us? And then it's, you know, more of a personal thing. I mean, it's professional, but it's like they want to know personally. So they want to, you know, feel like this is someone I like and trust and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so there's the dilemma I have a little bit. If y'all know Janae Adams, I've talked with her about this too,
One
about
of
how.
my favorite hustlers.
All right. Because she's kind of, you know, it's like she has a product, she's got her book, but really she's selling her time and expertise to speak to universities and that kind of thing. So that's one area that I still am not sure on. I have my personal Facebook page, which is different from my professional Facebook page, but Twitter are kind of still the same. And LinkedIn is the same. So
okay. Yeah, that's great. So I'll jump quickly in with my feedback, and we have about 3 minutes. If you guys can hold on with us just a second, share my feedback. Tony will share her feedback, and I will close us out. So just a few things, Rick, from my point of view. The first thing, and somebody touched on it. Wait, before I do, there's some things in the chat for you. I want to make sure you get what's in the chat because we're not scripting this for you. So make sure that you get it one way or the other, Rick. In the chat for you really quickly, someone said, yeah, you really want to highlight your products and services, highlight your service experience and share that. And then someone else says, can't you be your own brand? I'm glad they said all those things because it touched a little bit on what I'm about to share. So the first thing that I want to say, as far as Twitter goes, someone mentioned this earlier, but you should tweet more. If you're going to use Twitter as a platform, Twitter, if you remember our course on Twitter last year, it's an ever evolving platform. It's something where to stay relevant on that platform, you have to, it's all day conversation. So I know you don't have all day to tweet, so that's not what I'm saying, but you want to tweet as often as you can. It's a place for people to just communicate. So your thoughts, whatever you want to share in a given moment, use Twitter, and don't forget to use hashtags on Twitter. And a good thing for you would be to come up with a hashtag that's specific to your brand and use that hashtag as often as possible anytime you tweet, because then it starts to help us be able to find you and your thoughts, as someone mentioned, a thought leader on Twitter. That's the first thing. And just bear with us just a moment, guys. We're almost done. Someone also mentioned about having more images on Twitter. Yes, Twitter is a place for words and conversation, but it never hurts to use pictures, links that would take us to a video. All of that is attractive to a page. So I agree with that person.
Magali, this is Alan. I've got to jump off. There are no additional comments on Facebook.
Okay.
I've got a 1:30 that I've got to.
Definitely understand. Thank you, Alan.
But thanks, everybody.
Okay. We have about 2 more minutes, guys. And then I do want to point out to everyone that watched Tony scroll through, specifically on Twitter, not to judge the brand by the promoted tweets that Twitter shows on that page. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what Rick is tweeting. That's just what Twitter is showing. So keep that in mind as we're auditing businesses. As it relates to your website is very wordy. There are a lot of words. I think what I would offer is maybe providing clips of words, maybe a paragraph, and then having a link that says read more or something. Like your homepage is more words than attraction. I would also suggest, as I'm on your homepage, that you your Zoom course or the Zoom that you're offering, given everything that we're dealing with right now, that should be front and center on your homepage somewhere. People need to know that almost immediately when they visit your website. It's perfect timing for it, so take advantage of that. And I love your blog. The way your blog is set up is how I suggest most of the other long paragraphs on your website be set up. Kind of a little snippet, and you have an option to read more. So your blog page is fantastic. And then your book I personally would also have your book. I didn't know until we got to your website that book was your book when we saw it on Twitter. I didn't know that it was your book until we got to your website. I think your book can also be highlighted on your homepage. And then the more link from your book on your homepage can then take them to the page for your book to purchase and all of that. But I think you should at least have the picture of that book because like someone said, you're selling a product and a service. So people need to be able to immediately identify like, okay, this isn't just a blog for fun. This is a business. He has a book. He has services. Like nowhere on your website do I see services for me to know that I can hire you to speak or do a Zoom class or whatever. So maybe consider a services tab. And I think that was my last thing. No, I had one more thing before we get to Tony. My last thing was about your YouTube. I think there is a question about what are you selling on your YouTube? And my opinion on this varies with different things. I think it's okay if I can't immediately tell that you're selling something on YouTube, because YouTube can be used for various things. If it's not your plan and your goal, so you have to make sure you know what your goal is. If you just want YouTube to be more of a speaking platform for you, a way for people to be able to experience a little bit of your service, that's perfectly fine if you don't want to use YouTube as your primary selling platform. But if you do what you want to consider that question very much, and that will help you with how you present your YouTube page. Because as of right now, I see a YouTube page of, I'm going to go there to hear inspiration. The same way I go to my YouTube church. I go to my YouTube church when I needed some inspiration. So I just scroll and find a topic and listen, right? Versus I'm going to YouTube to buy the book that the pastor at my church is selling. I wouldn't go to YouTube for that. So I think it's okay if you're not selling on YouTube, but kind of keep in mind why people are coming to your page and present your information that way. All right, I'm done. Tony, in 2 minutes, and then we're out of here.
Okay. So mine, first of all, I love what you do. My overall advice is to show your expertise and the value that you bring to your unique marketplace. Because I think what you do bring is unique. And I don't know if you paid attention, but people really didn't state what they found unique about your business. And so ways that I feel that you could do that is, number one, is to choose two platforms that you're going to be very serious about. And that's going to come from number two, which is to choose your specific target market and where are they? And that will help you choose your two platforms that you're going to be very serious about. And then the third way is to use those platforms to creatively show your expertise. So like the interviews that you do, people had stated on this call that they would love to see videos on Facebook that's just on Facebook. You could take those interviews that you posted on Facebook and clip them creatively and put it on Facebook, and it's just on Facebook. And if you want to see more, go to our YouTube channel, But I think the very thing that you need to do is to show your expertise and the value that you have. And I made a little note about you not having a LinkedIn page specifically for your business. That doesn't build your credentials to have all of your business stuff on your personal LinkedIn page or your professional LinkedIn page. LinkedIn is professional, but to have a company page as well that builds your credentials when people come to see you. And I do like what Paul said about you being a thought leader, but not a thought leader to the entire market, a thought leader to your specific target market, which would be people teaching Bible studies and ministers, from what you sent me in the email. So be very specific about that as well, of who you are a thought leader for. And the very last thing is to me, I didn't see a lot of personality of the company. And I think that's very important, especially when you're a thought leader, especially when you are trying to teach other people. There needs to be some personality, because especially online as well, because we're in this pandemic, people don't like boring online. We like to be entertained in some bit. But like I said, I love what you're doing, and you are very consistent. So good job with that.
Thank you, Tony. Those were great. And then I want to address the last question that you had, Rick, from Christy, about couldn't you be your own brand? I think you really need to think about that. As people are asking you to do this or do that, think of yourself as a brand, not just as Rick. And And that helps put you in the position to recognize that you are your business, okay? So that you can start to get paid for being you, because others get paid millions just to tell us hello. So we can at least give you $10 to tell us hi.
One more thing. I'm sorry. One more thing. I saw that your course was $20, but you said that you charge people for in person for $300. Now, I personally would then wonder why I would pay you $300, like when everything else calms down and everything like that. That's a very big difference. Unless you clearly state like the different things of what you get with the $300 versus the $20.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, Tony. I would add to that. If you clearly state the difference, you might need to make sure that the Zoom isn't getting everything I would get in person. Like just that's what you want to make sure that you differentiate for a consumer, to say, oh, if I do it on Zoom, this is what I'm getting for 20. But when I can do it in person, oh, I'm getting all of this for 300, you know? But I think that's it. I know we've already taken enough of your time today. We thank you for staying with us an additional 7 minutes. We are going to close out our marketing audits next week. So if you or your business is interested in being audited, just email us at hustlewsinfo@gmail.com. We go through those who email us and we select one business. So it's not a guarantee, especially since we only have one more week left of it. But we are always open to talking through your business with you at Hustle. We're also open to doing this again in the future. It probably won't be next month, but doing it again in the future. So if you do submit it to us, we'll keep that in mind for another time. I think that's it. Don't forget to send the grant info. Oh, don't leave yet, Christy. I'm going to drop it in there. Thank you for reminding me. Don't leave. I'm going to drop it in the chat before we get off. But to everybody else, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you can join us next week by just registering on the Zoom link, and see you all next week. And Rick, I hope you got everything. I'm going to keep this open in case you need to copy and paste any comments from the Zoom chat. I'll keep it open for another minute or two. And
Well,
Christy,
thank you
1
all,
second.
everybody, for your input. I really appreciate it.
Bye, everyone. Christy,
Rick.
1 second.
Thanks
I'll
for
drop it
having
in there.
Thank
Let
you,
me pull
everybody.
it up.
Bye.